In this video, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I reverse engineer all my numbers so I can hit my goals. So by the end of this video, you'll know how to do the exact same thing for yourself. So you'll have a clear game plan on what you need to do to hit your goals. Okay, so for this video, let's say your goal is to hit 10K a month in the next 30 days. Here is the full roadmap. And just to give you guys an idea, obviously you can change these numbers to whatever your numbers are. But let's say your goal is 10K a month, right? Let's say you're charging $1,000, so that'll be 10 clients at 1K, which would mean you're at 10K a month, right? So what do you actually need to get 10 clients, right? Let's say you have a 20% close rate. This means that you need to get on 50 sales calls because 50 times 20% is 10 clients, right? But obviously, not every single sales call is going to show up. So the next step is, let's say you have a 50% show rate. If you have a 50% show rate, this means that you need to have 100 sales calls booked on your calendar every single month in the next 30 days, right? So what that looks like is, let's say you have a 1% appointment booking rate. So for every 100 DMs, cold calls, whatever it is, if it's not 1%, then you need to fix something. That should be like the bare minimum. That's really, really low. But let's say that it's 1%. So out of every 100 DMs that you send, you book one call. So what this means is that once you send a 10,000 outreach messages, this is when you would hit your goal. Because when you send 10,000 outreach message, 1% is going to book an appointment, which is 100 sales calls. If you book 100 sales calls, 50% are going to show up, which is 50. And out of those 50, if you close 20%, which is 1 out of every 5, which is still pretty low, you'll have 10 clients, and that's 10,000 in new cash, right? So let's actually break this down even more. So 10,000 outreach messages is what you need to do in a single month to hit your goal if you're charging 1K. And these are your numbers, right? Hypothetically. Now let's break it down even more. This means that you need to send 2,500 or do 2,500 outreach messages a week. What this will result in is 25 sales calls booked because 1% of this is 25, right? Out of these 25, 12 and a half will show up. It could be 12, it could be 14. Let's just say around 12 and a half are actually going to show up. Out of these 12 calls, you should close a bare minimum of 2, could be 3, could be 4, but bare minimum, you should be bringing on 2 to 3 new clients every single week. And let's break this down even more. This means that it comes down to 350 outreach messages a day. So now it's not just 10K a month. Now when you wake up, your goal isn't, okay, let's go hit 10K a month. Now when you wake up every single day, your goal is, okay, let me do 350 outreach points today. If I hit 350 outreach points today, it was a good day. I might not have closed a client today. I might have not made any money today. But I know if I send 350 outreach messages a day for the next 30 days, I will get to my goal. So this is what I mean when you need to focus on the inputs, not the outputs, because you can't control this. You can't control how much money you make, but you can control how much work you put in. And the more work you put in, boom. Like, for example, let's say you double this and you do 700 outreach messages a day. Worst case scenario, you hit 10K. Best case, you hit 15, 20K. Like, this is what it comes down to. And it's literally that simple. Instead of focusing on the goal of closing a client, focus on the input. So instead of saying, I want to close one client this week, say, I want to close, I just literally tweaked out. Don't say you want to close one client today. Say you want to get on 5 sales calls. Because if you get on 5 sales calls, that's going to result in 1 client. So instead of saying, I want to close 2 clients this week, say, I want to get on 10 sales calls. I want to book 20 sales calls. And what that looks like is, I think that's 200 messages, something like that. But this is literally what it comes down to, is reverse engineering your numbers and focusing on what you can control and what you cannot control. This is like pretty accurate. If you wanted to make sure and guarantee that you hit 10K a month, then I would put this a little higher and put 500 outreach messages a day. But this is what it comes down to. Whenever you hit 10K outreach messages, if you're booking appointments at 1%, you're gonna book 100 calls. You're gonna get 50 to show up. You're gonna close 20%. These numbers might be off if you're a complete beginner. This could be lower. This could be lower. This could be higher. Like, this is just like a rough idea of what to give you. Break down your numbers and make this based on whatever your numbers are. But you get the idea. Is you have to reverse engineer your numbers and go with worst case scenario. So let's say you have I mean, these numbers are pretty worst case. 50% is pretty bad. 1% is pretty bad. But just break it down, and this is exactly how you make sure that you hit your goals. So instead of being discouraged that you're not hitting 10K a month and you're losing motivation because you feel like you're not getting closer, you're not making any progress, just focus on this. This is what you need to focus on. Don't even focus on this. Don't even focus if you sign a new client. Just focus on doing more outreach messages, because if you do more, you're going to get more out. The more inputs that you put in, the more outputs that you will get out. So stop worrying about the outputs and just focus on putting in the work and focus on the inputs on what you can control. Find ways to send more outreach messages. Hire VAs to send DMs for you. Cold call. Like, I guarantee you're not using your time wisely. Like, you're actually not using your time wisely. If you're still building a website, you're doing any of that shit, you're wasting time. All you need to be doing if you have no clients is outreach. If you do have some clients, block out an hour or two at the beginning of your day, and the rest of your day is sales. That's exactly what I do. I wake up, I go to the gym, I get back, I do my client work. I'm done by 10. So from 10 to 5 to 6, whatever, it's just sales. There is no other distractions. It's just sales. Okay. So I hope this helped. If you guys need any help, let me know. But I hope this give you some clarity. Your action step is to do this for yourself. Whatever your goal is, it could be 5K a month, it could be 15K, it could be 20K, whatever it is. Break it down. And if you need any help, just, you know how to reach me.